Oh, hi there. We've got a very special guest here today, Christine Lang. Thanks for coming along, Christine.
You're very welcome.
And Christine's the director of the Central Coast Half Marathon and 10K. So that's been for a few years now, Christine. How many?
Yep, this is my 9th year.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought you'd be counting them because every year you think it's going to get easier, but it doesn't, does it?
Oh, it gets a little bit easier in terms of the whole process of it, but it's never easy because it's always something that will challenge you. Yeah, no, I hear that from being an organiser. Yeah. But we love this event on the coast, and it gets a great participation rate. What were the numbers likely to be this year? We have a maximum of 2,000, so that's 1,000 for each event, the half and the 10K, and the reason why is basically because it's run on footpath, or the cycleway. So in the last few years we've probably topped around about 1,700 runners, 17 to 1,800 runners, which is pretty good.
It's fantastic, and we were just saying that we've got a lot of visitors to the Central Coast with this run.
Heaps.
So where do you think they hear about it? It's interesting, isn't it?
Well, I promote it as widely as I can, on the website obviously, Facebook, Instagram. I used to use the Cool Running website. I'm not sure that that's around anymore, but basically it's word of mouth.
Well, I was going to say, because once you've been here and once you've run this run, it's one of those runs you go, I'd like to come back and do that again.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because you want to run a little bit faster next time, but but it's a nice course. So tell us a little bit about the course.
So it runs from the entrance, under the entrance bridge, and it goes all the way around to Chittaway Bay, and then they turn around and come back. The 10K obviously does the 5K and turns around and comes back, and the half marathon's all the way up to the end of the cycleway. And it's a beautiful path because it's right along Tuggerah Lake. It's visually gorgeous. And they get a lot of local enthusiasm. People come out with their deck chairs and their bubbles and cheer everybody on as they're running along. And
we should get some hoses out, maybe.
Oh,
sometimes
we have hoses.
We
have hoses and the obvious water stops and.
And if they're desperate, they can just dive in the lake for a swim anyway.
Yeah, that's been known to happen. So it's just a really great community event, which I think is what inspires a lot of people, because it's not like, big names and you have to be world class and famous to do the event.
It's funny you say that, because I have a lot of people that come in and they've known about the event and they target it as one. It's like, I really want to finish this. It's not like you say trying to be a world champion.
No.
It's like, wow, this is a distance I haven't done before. I know Can2 about 3 or 4 years ago brought a whole bunch of people, and they had specifically tried to get up to that 21.1.
Yeah, and they'll be on board again this year because our major sponsor is the Cancer Council.
Great.
And then a lot of the volunteers that we have are from community charity organisations, and they are also our beneficiaries. But the other good thing about our event, despite the fact that it's low key and casual, it's also officially marked, so you can use our event for other events.
Qualify for something.
It's a qualifying course. Yeah.
So just touching on the Hash House Harrier background, because I've actually participated in this event for many years, possibly more than even you might remember. So the Hash House Harriers is an interesting mob, and they're of course backbone this event. And now I would love to commend you, because you've really professionalised this. It was a lot more low key back in the day.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Hash House Harriers. Where did they eventuate?
So the Hash House Harriers are an international organisation. We've been around since the late 1930s, 1938, something like that.
It started in Malaysia.
It did, by an expatriate, an English guy, who basically met another guy in a pub and said,
let's
do you
have
want
a
to
beer?
Go for a run?
No, let's have the run first and then the beer.
Something like that, yeah. So go for a run, have a beer, or have a beer, then go for a run, and then have a beer again. So that's pretty much how it started, and it just became, more and more people got a hold of it, and so Malaysia grew. Yeah. And then they took it, those runners took Hash House Harriers back to their home countries and started Hash House Harrying all over the world. So you can go to any city in almost every country of the world and run with the Hash House Harriers.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So the people that were doing it were just passionate about life, really. Not even fitness so much.
Well,
it was
kind
really
of fitness, but more just the social aspect of going out and doing something energetic, and then coming back and having
rewarding
a few beers
yourself for it,
and dinner basically.
Yeah.
So that's what hashing is all about.
And it still is that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's more about the social side. Although
Very
some
much.
people do have a nice run when they go there. You've got some good athletes that show up.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple of the local ones. Greg Love would be one that comes to mind. He's pretty serious about his running.
Yes, he's a very.
We might have to do an
good
interview
runner.
with Greg.
You should. Yeah.
Yes. So the early days of the Hash, there wasn't actually a half marathon. It was a 10K.
Correct. Yeah.
And it wasn't quite 10K, maybe.
I don't know that it was an official 10K.
It was just they called it a 10K, but it wasn't really a 10K.
That's right. And I think it only started with something like 7 people.
Yep.
And they were all hashies.
Yeah.
And then
that did that go along the foreshore towards the end? It was a one-way course.
Oh, my understanding is that it actually went out a little bit onto the road as well. The very, very first
Although nobody lived there in those days.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
There's hardly any traffic. So, but now, but over the years, we got involved in Mardi Gras.
Yes.
So when the entrance used to have the Mardi Gras festival, we were the finale of Mardi Gras basically. So what happened is the Hashies got in touch with the Mardi Gras organisers and said, hey, let's finish off Mardi Gras with a fun run.
Right.
And that's sort of how it all happened, really.
Yeah, and it brought more people to the area, and it just worked in nicely.
Yeah.
But now you're on the weekend before the festival weekend, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Well, the Mardi Gras doesn't
exist
anymore,
but
so we've become basically a standalone event, and we've just grown.
Which is good because you're really too big to be part of the other event now.
It is now. It's much too big. It's a big deal.
Mind you, you can still get on and have a ride of one of the carnival events because that's all getting set up, or it's there all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, not while the event's on. They actually close that all off, but the entrance, it's carnival from lunchtime on anyway there, so you can still go up there and have a picnic and everything over the course of the weekend. We get heaps of interstate people coming up for the weekend, and they just come and enjoy the whole day. They come up on a Friday, do the run on the Saturday, stay Saturday night. It's great for tourism on the coast.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
And then they all toddle off home on a Sunday. So we get probably a 50-50 locals to interstate and
wow, that's really
Sydney
really
and
good for the area.
Lots from Queensland. We get overseas runners come.
I know when we have our stall, we have a lot of our people coming down to look at our product that we bring down there for the day, which you kindly invite us to do.
Yep.
And there's a lot of out of towners, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And that's why we are so popular, because that word of mouth just keeps going back, and we don't deviate very much from the way we organise from year to year. So people kind of have an expectation of what they're going to get out of the day, and touch wood, cross fingers, since I've been the event manager, we've never had bad weather. It's always been beautiful.
Well, it's interesting because I must have run just before you took over, because I was just going to say about the weather. The course is great, really, whether you've got bad weather or not. Just the presentation area might be a little bit challenging, not for the presenters because they've got a bit of cover.
Correct.
But that cement path, I mean, it doesn't really matter what the weather is.
Not
hot,
really.
cold, rainy, And we did have some pretty horrendous weather one year. I've got a picture of me absolutely drenched to the bone.
Yeah, and it does.
But that happens.
A little bit. But it's all fun.
Well, we can bring a few tents down for the presentation if it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Central Coast Council are very generous in what they provide for us. They give us lots of marquees and so forth, and they provide that facility for us to use.
And you've had some other good sponsors too over the years. We've got Mingara One, the fitness gym.
Yep, they're our major sponsor. They've been our sponsor for 9 years now too, so they're on board every year and they're great. And we get the budget trucks, the guys that give us the truck that we put all the equipment in.
It's so important.
And you guys obviously.
No, we love coming down to the event, and it's a fantastic area where everybody just congregates. And now you used to have a free sausage sizzle down there, but
we mainly leave that in the hands of the Cancer Council. So if they want to do that, it's a gold coin donation, and I leave that job to them to do.
Because that's important for the Hashy tradition to have your feed afterwards. Yep, absolutely. But no beer, because it's an alcohol-free zone, isn't it?
Absolutely no beer, not until afterwards. When it's all
but
done
then you
and
have to go to the alcohol venues.
Yeah, that's right.
Which the Hashies do.
Actually, the Hashies, we have a great party afterwards at a friend, one of the Hashies' homes.
Well, you should, because it's. What time do you have to start? You must get down there about 4 or earlier.
We're on site at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep, and we have to be gone and done and dusted by lunchtime.
Yes.
So we're usually out by 11, and we've got the timing guys.
No, we're often the last ones to leave. You guys are gone having your lunch before, and we're still packing up, which is fine.
Oh, yeah. It's
but
really good.
just want to bring a little funny thing that I remember happening, and I'll put you on the spot a little bit. So there was it was early on, I think, when the 10K might have started at the same time or shortly around the time of the half, and the person at the turnaround didn't show up.
Probably Sallow.
So do you remember that year?
Yeah, I remember the year, and you won't believe who that person was that was supposed to be at the 10K turnaround.
No.
Me.
Oh.
I slept in. I did get there eventually, but not at the very beginning.
So I was supporting a young guy who was hoping to win it, Corey Noble, and we had discussed roughly his tactics and something. And when I'd run the half marathon that day. When I got back, I was like, "So, how did you go? How did you go?" Well, I wasn't sure where to turn around. And I said, "Well, I mean, you turn around at just over the bridge where the official was." And he said, "No, there was nobody there." He said, "But I kind of figured it out," and I turned around and he said, "I think I went about the right place, but there was nobody there." Anyway, later on we found out that a couple of people hadn't known roughly where to turn around. I mean, I think after running for an hour, you probably figure you've done 5K.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was kind of a sad time, but it was a funny time in hindsight.
Yeah, it was a lesson learned, that one.
Yeah.
That's for sure, that year.
But, to me, it just fitted right in with that casual Hash House Harrier attitude.
Yeah.
But then you've taken that out of the equation now, and you've made it so much more professional.
Yes, we've brushed up on it.
I mean, it's painted on the path for a start.
It is, yes. I do that.
Yeah.
I actually get out on my push bike and I go and physically paint all the markings on there 2 or 3 times through in the year, so people can use it as a training course as well. So,
no, that's great. And I'm sure people do, because that, if they've come to the area and they come back, it's a familiar place and they know how far they've run. And of course, Parkrun do part of the course now as well.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're
So
pretty popular now too.
It'll be interesting. I imagine there'll be quite a few park runners sort of tackling it, and because they're familiar with it, they'll feel good about doing that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And here's another thing, talking about familiarity, because this is another one you won't know. So when I came back from America for a visit, because I was living there for about a few years, and I saw in the paper that the fun run was on. I was like, "Oh yes, I think I can do that. If I wake up in time, I'll go." So I wasn't sure about jet lag.
Yeah.
So I rushed down thinking I knew where the start was. And the Central Coast is quite awkward in this area because most of the roads don't go through. So you have to go back and around, and you come, and then there's a space that's park, and then you have to go back and around.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
after choosing the wrong place, I had to go back and around about 5 times, in which case I kept thinking, yes, I can make it, and then no, I couldn't, because it was the start time. So I parked my car and I ran to the start, which was only about a half a K at that stage. I got pretty close, but they'd shut the entries and I couldn't enter.
Oh.
I was devastated. Oh. And of course everybody running towards me was wanting to know why I wasn't running the fun run.
Well, they were the days when you had to enter
at the day. That's right, yes.
Fill out this paper form
which is I probably would have still been filling out the form when everybody was finishing at the other end.
Yeah, it was, they did well in those days, but now that it's much more kind of automated, it's a lot easier.
I mean, and the timing, you've got electronic timing, and
we use the timing guys. They're a Sydney-based company, and they're absolutely fantastic. Big Chris is.
I think I know Big Chris. Yeah,
he's fantastic. He and his wife.
That's fantastic.
And they've been great, and we get an MC who does MCing for fun runs all over the state. He's great, so I don't have to get up there and MC anymore, which is lovely.
Now, you have run the run?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've done the half 2 or 3 times.
Did you direct and run?
No, oh gosh, no, I haven't got time for that. no, but I actually, when Mardi Gras, I talked to about Mardi Gras earlier, but when the Mardi Gras festival was on, the Hashies convinced me to be an entrant as the Mardi Gras Queen.
Oh.
And
did you win?
I did. It was in 2007, and it was total tongue-in-cheek, really funny. And anyway, I actually won that, and I had to do fundraising and so forth. And that was the same year that I ran it as well this year. So it was a pretty challenging year for me. But after the event, I just thought, God, this can be so much bigger.
Yes.
It can be so much better.
And I'd like to say, you know, Christine, you've done an amazing job with this, because I know you have been a driving force in you know, bringing the numbers up from like probably less than 500.
I think 350.
I was thinking around that number, and you know, it's a quality event. It's a national quality event, and it brings national quality people from time to time, in a nice way. You know, not in that, you know, we're out there to exclude all the other people. I think everybody goes there and they just feel like they're at home.
Yep.
And you know, I really want to congratulate you for that
Thanks, Margaret.
from the local community and from myself. Yeah,
really good.
And also just wish you the best for this year. Well, fingers crossed on the weather.
Yep.
And
good weather, hopefully. Perfect running conditions.
And you know, hope that you can sort of have the courage to keep running, and also pass on to the rest of the Hash community, because I know you have a huge assistance there. There's
about 80 volunteers on the day, which is pretty hard to keep a track of everybody, but everyone knows their place now, so you know, it makes it a lot easier. But I mean, the Hashies are really dedicated to this event, so it's great.
No, and we're very fortunate to have you in the local community, so
great.
Thank you so much for coming along, and let's give a cheerio to the people out there why they should come and do this event.
Oh, you should definitely come and run our event. It's the prettiest half marathon you'll ever do on the Central Coast.
Perfect.
Thank you.
We'll see you there.
Thanks.